Hey guys, so check this out. I have a brand new sponsor, man. Brand new sponsor. RoamLink by Mobile Must Have. RoamLink takes all of the cellular services, red, orange, and purple, and combines them all into one invincible cellular signal. If you have any of those signals wherever you are, you will be getting data, high-speed data, great throughput. It's great for video streaming, and the data intensity and data applications are great because in storm chasing, you need tons of data. So what am I doing today? Well, our new sponsors just sent us 3 of the Peplink 5G RoamLink Connects, 3 of them, and antennas, and power cords, and service. So they are going to be sponsoring the streams and sponsoring my storm chasing adventures as we go throughout the coming seasons. And what better way to start out this partnership than with instructional videos? Yes, I'm going to show you. They sent me 3 of these things. I have 3 trucks in the fleet. We're going to be installing all 3 routers in this video. We're going to start with truck 3 because there might be a hurricane soon. We have to prep the antenna first. And if you take a look at how the antenna is already set up on truck 3, we're going to be replacing one of these PCTEL BR Maxes. Now these are only 1x3s, so we're getting a 1x7. Isn't that nice? So the problem is the roof ribs. And look at the size of this thing compared to the other one. That's for scale. So we're going to replace that antenna with this antenna. So we got to get it prepped. So to clear the roof ribs on the old PCTEL antenna, I used some of this. Any guys spend time in the mechanic shop or the gym, you're going to know what this is. Thick foam padding, very cheap. And I've been cutting mounting discs out of this stuff for years. I used this stuff on truck 2 previously. I've used it on truck 1. It's currently in use on truck 3, and we'll be using it some more. Let's just go ahead and hold that up. And then sheet metal. Oh yeah, I got enough room. I've got enough room. So let's make a disc. What do I mean when I say 1x3, 1x4, 4x4, 7x7? There's 1 unit, 7 cables. We have 4 cellular cables, 2 Wi-Fi cables, and a GPS cable. That's why there's so much going on with this. The new 5G routers require all of this. Okay, right in the middle, and let's make a hole. The hole doesn't have to be perfect, by the way, and this hole is giant. Yep, that works. This is the 3M disc from another antenna that I'm not going to be using because truck 1 I'm going to use a bracket mount. But this will help seal the antenna against the roof for water ingress. I'm also going to seal the bottom. Now these antennas can be used out in the open as well on a bracket mount because take a look here, that's fully potted. Fully potted. No water ingress getting in there. Is it going to be pretty? No. Will it work? Absolutely. Like I said, this disc, ugly, but functional, and that's the part that matters. Very nice 3M adhesive. Let's go outside. I'm gonna start by removing the gas can rack here. Can't really work on stuff if everything's in the way, can you? And next, we've got to get the stuff out of the cargo area. Next up, we got to get a trim tool out, get this stuff out of the way, and get to the bottom of the original antenna that's up there. Okay, now we have to go in here and pull all of the cables from that one antenna on the driver's side, and this is probably not going to be as easy as I think, because it's been a couple of years since I put this in here. We got to get this bundle undone. Pop some of this trim work out of the way. Oh, look at that. Okay, this is the cable to my XM antenna for the Baron Weatherworks box. Let's get that cleared up out of the way so it's not blocking up everything we need to do. You'll be surprised how the spaghetti of coax cables seizes any forward motion. Get the headliner down, let's start pulling some cable. Chase trucks, vehicles with equipment, guys that do ham radio, stuff like that, it's always a work in progress. It's never a finalized deal. There we go. Antenna 1, antenna 2. The more I think about it, antenna 2 can go as well. Generally, you're going to want a great big crescent wrench to loosen the nuts on these things, because that is a metal nut up there and it's huge. However, I can't find mine. So we're going to try a pair of slip joint pliers and see if that'll work. And it's working. Just got to loosen that big nut. Pull it down here. Now these are slotted nuts. The other one's not, but these are slotted nuts so you can remove the cable in from around them. All right, let's take a flat blade screwdriver and separate this. Let's go ahead and pull it out. Let's get the old donut out of there. Been on there quite a while. Had to make the hole bigger. Next, I got to get some RTV silicone and goop that hole up. And now we got to put the nut on. I'm going to get some fresh gloves for both hands and put the final twist on. Very good. Finally, for the antenna installation, let's go ahead and shoot a bead of RTV around the outside of the base where I made that gasket so that there's no chance of it leaking. Because in a hurricane is not where you want to discover your roof leak. Sealed. Now we have to run the cables. This part's relatively easy. You just tuck them behind the plastic and under the headliner. One thing I do want to do first is get this other antenna out. Cable routing in a vehicle this small is actually pretty easy. The headliner pops down around the trim. Snake it up into the headliner. I'm going to bring that forward. Now we're going to put the headliner back. This headliner's been up and down about 400,000 times, and it looks like it. It's never going to quite be like it was factory, but that's not your car. That's my car. This thing has been apart so many times that the shape has been lost, and it depends on the trim and the tabs to hold it up, and that's okay. There's the hole. We'll just put that rubber weather strip back on the outside. And now with our cable bundle, we notch it up and behind this piece of trim, get it all the way in behind the trim. That's very important. And you can do this, by the way, one cable at a time. Slot them in there as long as they don't interfere with anything behind the panel, and as long as it doesn't interfere with the seat belt retractor, you're good. Now let's bring these down. This being a Jeep, Chrysler uses a very unique over-under pattern for this stuff. As long as you get back in there the way that the factory likes it, you'll be okay. Let's continue. Okay, so now we have a big wad of cables inside the car, and this is quite a bit of cable. I'd say this is about 10 feet or so. What we're going to do is we're going to start bundling. we're going to start bundling. Now, there's many cables here, and I'm going to incorporate some cables that were already down here, like this one. This one is for a Sirius XM antenna from Mobile ThreatNet. We're going to bundle it all, because if a ThreatNet box goes in here, it's going to go right beside the router. But first we got to get them under the seat mount, which is more threading and pulling. So I've only got a couple of zip ties left here, so I'll use it in the bundle. So let's roll these up. You might notice this is a huge bundle. Don't worry, I've got room down here to stuff it. We're gonna pack those right down there along the bottom of the seat rail. And now I'm gonna pull this board out. This piece of wood is what I use to keep track of everything. Now there's a constant power here. There is a constant power block down here, which is one of the things I'm going to be using. Although a little different, you'll see. Peplink number 1. All these Peplinks come with this handy Connect sticker. This is awesome. Love that. You always put that somewhere visible in the vehicle. Oh, it smells brand new. Trust me, it does. Brand new electronics have a smell. All right. So let's connect the antenna cables. Now notice there is no GPS input on this particular device. So the GPS cable isn't used. And here's an XM cable, and that's what you need for a WR10 unit for Barron Mobile ThreatNet. Magic happens everywhere. Go ahead and connect the antenna leads. Maybe right here, right there works. Gives us access to the WAN port and everything else. All right. Next is the power solution. You're going to need an automotive power cord using these things in a mobile environment. Mobile Must Have does sell these. These were included with the sponsor pack. So you have a power cord right here. Now I like to make them pretty. Never mind me. I'm just failing at doing the one thing I'm good at. Just like that. Plug that power cord right into the modem. The router. Listen to me. Modem. What is this, 1992? Okay, so we're going to do some things here. There's already a little switch panel right here that I use to control my lights. But it had 3 other positions, and I wired it to the ignition. Well, I don't want it on the ignition. I want it on constant, and I have the ability to do that. As we see, there's a power input cable here, and there's a power output cable. This is the output cable, and it also carries the ground. We don't need this right here. We also don't need this right here. I was using this to control fans inside of a pan tilt zoom camera on the roof, but we don't need that. Now we got to go find the other end of this power cable and hitch it into positive full time. In the meantime, let's go ahead and run our power cable up through here into the dash. By the way, when you're doing these installs, chase equipment, lifestyle gear, anything electrical in a car, it helps if you get a jump on it. You know what I mean? It helps if you do some stuff first, and then you'll always be able to find what you need. Let's get this terminated and hitched in here. All right, off camera, I went and hitched in a constant positive supply for the switch panel. So we can see by that light working. That switch goes to nothing, but that's a spare switch that I have access to should I need more switches. Let's go ahead and put this back. Let's get the paneling back in and we'll be done. Another day, another truck. We are working on truck 1 today, getting the RoamLink 5G Connect routers in. Now this one's going to be a little different because I'm going to make a platform for the antenna up here on this roof basket. And the first thing I'm going to do is get these traction boards out of the way. So what we're doing today is we're going to be putting the Peplink RoamLink 4G2 antenna right here, and in order to do this we're going to have to build a bracket because it doesn't quite span, but this is straight up and down. Luckily I have this piece of heavy gauge plastic. It's a C-channel, and this came with a window unit air conditioner and I don't use that. So let's go ahead and get that secured. I'm going to put it right here at the front. I'm going to put it right at the front. It'll be straight up and down. How are we going to even it up once it's done? Don't worry about that, I'll show you. First thing we got to do is get the first drill screw placed into the bar. There we go. And one more. We'll go by feel. It'll be right there. There we go. And no, the whole thing isn't staying there. We're going to chop that down with Mr. Buzzy. There we go. You see there's a little bit there where I scraped the top, and there's going to be those holes, and the bracket itself is white plastic. We can fix all of that. I'll show you. Let's just get our custom masking tape here. Put it right there. Get this cheapo black spray paint. So as we've seen earlier in the video, we already have the 4G2 antenna affixed to the bracket. This cool little plastic L bracket that comes with it, which is nice because what we're going to do is we're going to secure this antenna just like that. Okay? It's going to look really good there. And we're going to make some modifications. First, what we need to do is sink it with these self-tappers so that we have a good index point to mark and drill from. Now that feels solid to an extent, but what that's done has been giving us our mark indexes to drill some holes and put some bolts through. There we go. Now we will very carefully make the holes in the bracket larger. All right, found the shorter shank bolts right there. Threw those through. Now let's get it in the holes. All right, let's get this cable arranged because there is quite a lot of it. And this has to go all the way across the roof, all the way back, across the crossbar. And we're going to cut an access hole in the roof that we will grommet and silicone, of course. And here's how much of it we have. Seven cables. 7. We're gonna have to start dressing these, and that means zip ties, and that means anchoring it to the roof basket. Let's go ahead and get started. Don't forget to take the opportunity wherever you can to go ahead and get your cable management together, because you're going to need that a lot. We're almost done managing cables. Almost, but not quite. Okay, so before we get started, we're going to want to take down the trim panels and drop the headliner a little bit. I've already selected the place I'm going to drill. It's going to be in line with, or roughly commensurate with the antennas that are already up there. I have plenty of meat, and as long as I stay on this side of the ridge where the roof rack is, I'll be fine. Now, to make sure that we don't rip up our headliner, you drop it a little bit and take some garbage and shove it up in there so that it can't pop back up and get itself sliced up by the stepper bit. Now let's just feed all of these cables through the hole. It's really that simple. Including this one that's about 50 feet long. That's the StarLink cable, by the way. That's the one that's 50 feet long and a pain. Now I'm gonna have to pull that entire cable back before I can do anything else. Let's untangle these. Also, when you're doing a cable install, it will stay forever tangled. You're just gonna have to get used to that. Okay, now that our grommet is fully setted, I'm gonna put on some gloves and we're gonna get out our can of splurt here and we're gonna glue all this up, and it's actually gonna be fairly difficult to get all the little spaces, but we'll get them. Do the middle first. As a matter of fact, there's a zip tie right there holding the bundle together. I'm gonna cut that because I need to get in between all of these and around them and everything else. Hose down the middle. I'm gonna make a little cone out of Gorilla Tape underneath of it so that I don't get silicone all over the interior. So one thing I want you guys to know about this type of stuff. It's ugly as hell and works like a charm. And will it matter? No. Who's gonna look? It's on the roof of your car. Truckers? Who cares? Glue all that up in there. Now we have a lot more cables coming down than we did before. And I'm not taking this Elysional 4G antenna out of here. It can stay where it is. I'll use it for something else later. But we are to the point where we're going to be coming down into our router, and we've got a new router to put in, so I'm going to clean up a little bit and we're going to get right back at this. Okay guys, you ready to do some more cable management? Oh, I know I am. Yay. Now there's going to be a lot of cable bundled up behind this panel. So let's go ahead and pull it out of the clips. Get it situated and figure out how much cable is going to be behind this panel, because it's already a lot and it's about to be more. Gonna come back around, come up through there and go over to the router. So yeah, we're gonna need a little more. And shove whatever we don't use back in the hole. This is cable bundle 1. And we're gonna make a separate cable bundle just because I know it's gonna be difficult to get all this mess stored. Okay, that will work. This is going to be dog bone 2. Cable management all the way. Isn't this fun? Cable management. Let's plug back in these body harnesses. Shove the headliner back up above the trim work. And let's go ahead and remember how this goes on. Put that back where it goes. Get it under the rubber. And put the super panel back on. Okay, that's back together. Now let's get this router flipped out. Okay, now that we have the interior back together, let's go ahead and get this router. This is the 4G model, uninstalled. Very easy. And let's get the new 5G RoamLink Connect situated. It's a lot smaller. I want to show a comparison here real quick. This is the 4G unit. This is the 5G unit. Better connectivity, newer technology, and a smaller package. You've got to love the march of progress. Where do we want to situate this new router? I want to be able to see the ports. You know what? I'm going to put it right there. Right there where we can see everything. I want to put that one in loose because I want to shore it up with the bottom. There we go. Just like that. Perfect. She's mounted. That was very easy. Now, to connect cables. Wi-Fi 1. Wi-Fi 2. And I'm going to be pinning all of these down here in a second with a loop grip. But for right now, I just want to get these installed. LTE 4. LTE 3. LTE 2. And LTE 1. These particular devices do not use the GPS cord. I'm just going to kind of set it up here in behind everything because I can use that for my mobile ThreatNet device. Here is the StarLink power cord. We'll bring that down here. Bring it around the side and plug it into the StarLink power supply. And here is the StarLink WAN cable. We'll bring that StarLink cable around like this and plug it into the WAN port. Let me see where everything's going to settle once we get it bolted down, like right there. My boy Dave Holder right now anchoring Weather Nation, dressed like a funeral director. I love you, bro. Don't ever change. So we got a few things to anchor here. And we're going to answer that with more cable management. All right. Now we got to remember, before we manage any more cable down there, we have a power cable and a LAN cable to deal with. Let's go ahead and plug in the LAN cable in number 1 right here. How do I make this prettier? How do I make that prettier? I think I might know. Give me a second. And we'll bring that in with the power cord. I'm going to do something special for the power cord. When I started doing this, I have a switched cigarette lighter plug that I built for the old power plug, and that's what I'm going to reuse for this. I'm just going to make a new power cord though. Okay, we made our power cord. Now I got to put some wire loom on that and see where this is going to lie. It's going to come around there and right on in there, and we'll make it pretty. We'll make it pretty. In the meantime, let's go ahead and plug this in. And then we'll get everything managed. Yes, the word of the day, management. You would honestly be shocked at just how much of a chase rig build involves cable management. Look at that. How pretty. How pretty that is. We'll get that cinched in. There we go. And there we go. She's installed. Let's cut her on, see if she works. All right. We are live. We have full cellular, Wi-Fi, and satellite signal. Let's go ahead and connect. RoamLink 20AE is connected. Let's go to speed test. So you can see it's rather quite good. We're golden, folks. We are golden here. That isn't bad at all. So this isn't a big splash piece about installing one of these in truck 2. This is truck 2, the 2011 Grand Cherokee. This is my daily driver. So I used the roof mount antenna that was already there. It actually blends in really well and it's small enough to fit on the truck. I will say that the antenna that they gave me was really good. However, it's also huge. So I put the RoamLink box, the new 5G Connect, in the same place that the 4G was mounted and just piped everything in as you see it here. Super simple. And with that, all 3 trucks are equipped with our new RoamLink mobile must-haves combination routers linked into our StarLinks. I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by. Thanks for sitting there and watching that installation video, because if you know anything about cars at all and you know a little bit about technology, these are extremely easy to install. Recommending this to everybody. New sponsor, RoamLink. Get the RoamLink Connect Plus. Get the router for free when you pay for the service. MobileMustHave.com. Come see us. And until next time, I'm Beating Barry, Keystone Prime. Thank you for watching.